Well, listen, we'll get back to some of the polling and stuff. A couple other stories I want to talk about. This is an interesting story from over the weekend. NFL football player from the Baltimore Ravens, Brendon Ayanbadejo, did a video indicating his support of gay marriage. Okay, this is the video that started it all, to give you a sense for what we're talking about.
I'm Brendon Ayanbadejo, a linebacker for the Baltimore Ravens. I believe we should be doing everything that we can to make Maryland families stronger, which is why I support marriage for gay and lesbian couples who want to make a lifetime commitment to each other. People from all walks of life, including gay and lesbian couples, want their children to be in stable homes and protected under the law.
Okay, so very clearly, Marylanders support marriage equality, join us in support, et cetera, et cetera. Not anything even sanctioned, to be clear, because this is relevant for the story. Not anything even sanctioned or promoted by the Baltimore Ravens. So far, so good. That's how it starts, Lewis.
Right.
Then we get a letter dated August 29th, 2012, addressed to the owner of the Ravens, Steve Biscotti, written by a Democrat from the Maryland House of Delegates named Emmett C. Burns, Jr., and he writes, "I find it inconceivable that one of your players, Mr. Brendon Ayanbadejo, would publicly endorse same-sex marriage, specifically as a Ravens football player. Many of my constituents and your supporters are appalled and aghast that a member of the football team would step into this controversial divide and try to sway public opinion. I'm requesting that you take the necessary action as an NFL owner to inhibit such expressions from your employees and that he be ordered to cease and desist such injurious actions. I know of no other NFL player who has done what Mr. Ayanbadejo is doing." So this is fascinating on a number of levels. Number one, by saying that he knows of no other player that has done what he has done, Burns is revealing not only does he not have any idea what's going on in the league and with the players, it shows he hasn't even been paying attention to Ayanbadejo, who joined the Ravens back in 2008, and he wrote about supporting same-sex marriage on Huffington Post 3 years ago in 2009. So not only is he not aware there are other players, and we'll get to them because that's a fascinating part, he seemed to not even really be paying attention to this player's view on gay marriage 3 years ago. Shows you how aware this guy is. And he's a Democrat. I don't care what he is. If this is the type of thing you're going to say, you have no idea what you're talking about. I don't care about party, Lewis. You know that.
Absolutely, yes. It just so happens that usually people like this fall under a certain category.
Typically they're Republicans. This time it's not. I don't care. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. So then let's continue. This is actually really potentially a violation of freedom of speech, because what if the NFL football owner, as a result of public pressure from an elected official, decided to tell Brendon Ayanbadejo not to do this anymore? That would actually be government using their influence or threat of repercussions to suppress speech. That would really be, for all the last 3 years of accusations from the right and from the anti-gay fringe about suppression of the First Amendment and freedom of speech, this would actually be an example if the NFL owner, Steve Biscotti, were actually to take Mr. Burns' advice. Incredible, though, that we finally see an example of that, yet the Dr. Laura's, the Chick-fil-A's, wrongly talking about freedom of speech violations. So then what do we have? Then we have Minnesota Vikings punter Chris Kluwe. He responds to Mr. Burns in a hilarious letter. I've cleaned it up a little bit. I'll just read a couple of excerpts, and they're fantastic. He says, "Dear Mr. Emmett C. Burns, Jr., I find it inconceivable that you are an elected official of Maryland state government. Your vitriolic hatred and bigotry make me ashamed and disgusted to think that you're in any way responsible for shaping public policy at any level. The views you espouse neglect to consider several fundamental key points, which I'll outline for you in great detail. You may want to hire an intern to help you with the longer words, Lewis. Number one, as I suspect you have not read the Constitution, I would like to remind you that the very first amendment in the founding document deals with freedom of speech, particularly the abridgment of said freedom. By using your position as an elected official to state that the Ravens should inhibit such expressions from your employees, not only are you clearly violating the First Amendment, you also come across as a narcissistic Fremunda stain." And he goes on and on and on, and he says, "P.S. I've also been vocal as hell about the issue of gay marriage, so you can take your 'I know of no other NFL player who has done this' and shove it in your closed-minded, lacking in empathy pie hole and choke on it." So I think that the Vikings punter was not thrilled with the letter. Is that fair to say, Lewis?
I think we can conclude that, yeah.
Hilarious stuff. Fantastic that NFL players and really athletes of all kinds are really starting to be more vocal about this, particularly when we've seen a lot of the fag word thrown around among sports, and it's kind of become a colloquialism, not the influence we want to have on young players of any sport who are coming up through the ranks, who look at these people as role models.
Right. I can't think of a better role model for the youth. I mean, especially even when your parents at home might be saying things that you're unsure about or using or happen to be bigots themselves, and then you see someone you admire who is saying the opposite. Obviously, that can be a very good thing.
No question about it.